Chapter 2023. Within the valley, endless roars could be heard. It was as if there were hundreds of thousands of ferocious beasts charging out of the valley at the same time. The strongest is only a boundary emperor. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. He took a step forward and entered the valley. In front of him, a pack of giant wolves charged toward Lu Ming. There were at least a few hundred of them, including bright saints, great saints, and absolute saints. The giant wolves were all black and exuded a strong demonic aura. Their eyes were filled with ferocity as they pounced toward Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming waved his hand and his saint power condensed into long spears. Whoosh! 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 The long spears pierced through the air and made a sharp whistling sound. Suddenly, the giant wolves were nailed to the ground by the long spears. Regardless of whether they were absolute saints or great saints, they were all killed in a single move. In an instant, dozens of giant wolves were nailed to the ground. The other giant wolves could not help but stop in their tracks. Since it had reached the saint realm, the giant wolves naturally had high spiritual intelligence. At this moment, they were looking at Lu Ming in horror. "If you don't want to die, get out of my way," Lu Ming shouted coldly. His eyes were like two pitch-black vortexes. Lu Ming cast the soul illusory skill. At this moment, in the eyes of the many giant wolves, he seemed to have transformed into a god of death, slaughtering all living beings. Woo woo! The rest of the giant wolves cried out in fear and slowly retreated. Roar! At this moment, a roar came from the depths of the valley, causing the entire valley to shake violently. Lu Ming saw that there was a huge cave in the depths of the valley. At this moment, a giant wolf walked out of the valley. This giant wolf was at least 100 meters tall, like a small mountain. Its body was black as if it was made of steel. Its demonic aura was extremely dense. Boundary Emperor. This giant wolf was at the Boundary Emperor realm. Lu Ming had sensed it before. Obviously, this giant wolf was the king of this group of giant wolves. It stepped out and swept its cold gaze across the group of giant wolves, causing them to tremble slightly and crawl down. "Human, you're courting death." The giant wolf king looked at Lu Ming and said in a cold voice. The next moment, the giant wolf king's forelegs kicked, and its huge body pounced toward Lu Ming, casting a large shadow. In the blink of an eye, the giant wolf pounced in front of Lu Ming. Its sharp claws were like knives, clawing at Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled faintly. His saint power surged, and his body suddenly rushed out like a beam of light, unbelievably fast. Whoosh! In the next moment, Lu Ming arrived at the head of the giant wolf and smashed down with his fist. Boom! The punch landed directly on the wolf's head, causing it to wail in pain. Its huge body fell to the ground and smashed heavily into the ground. The earth trembled and the valley rumbled continuously. A huge crater appeared on the ground. Roar! Lu Ming hadn't used his full strength in this punch, so the giant wolf didn't die. It roared and struggled madly. Lu Ming stomped down, causing the giant wolf to wail. Its head smashed into the ground again, creating a huge crater. "If you continue to resist, I'll kill you," Lu Ming said coldly. His entire body emitted an extremely cold killing intent. The giant wolf king shuddered. It knew that it was far from being a match for Lu Ming. If Lu Ming wanted to kill it, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. "Human, what are you trying to do?" the giant wolf king asked. "I'm going to cultivate here for a while. After a while, I'll leave. You guys wait outside. If you don't agree, I'll kill all of you. I can still cultivate here," Lu Ming said coldly. "Are you really going to leave after a while?" the giant wolf king asked. "Nonsense. Who would be willing to stay in this lousy place for long?" Lu Ming curled his lips and took a step forward, walking toward the cave in the depths of the valley. In that cave, the demonic chi was extremely dense. The giant wolf king howled several times, but in the end, it could only lead the wolf pack outside the valley. Such dense demonic chi. Lu Ming walked into the cave and raised his eyebrows. The demonic chi here was denser than he had imagined. It was almost tangible. Hey! That's a demonic origin fruit. Suddenly, Lu Ming saw a small tree growing on one of the walls of the cave. On the small tree, there were 3 pitch-black fruits. The Great Pill Development Hall focused on refining elixirs. Naturally, Lu Ming had also read a large number of books in the Great Pill Development Hall. He was very familiar with all kinds of precious medicinal herbs and all kinds of heavenly and earthly treasures. Naturally, he recognized this fruit at one glance. Demonic origin fruit was an extremely rare and precious fruit. It was very useful for demonic cultivators. Consuming it could purify demonic chi and increase one's strength. However, these 3 fruits were clearly not fully ripe yet. But from the looks of it, they were not far from ripening. According to records, demonic origin fruits can only grow in places with dense demonic chi. To be able to grow demonic origin fruits here, it's extraordinary, Lu Ming thought to himself. Then, he looked around the cave. The cave was very large and led all the way inside. Lu Ming walked into the cave. Soon, he made a discovery. There was a small pool. The water was as black as ink and bubbles constantly emerged. The water was filled with extremely dense demonic chi. This is a demonic pool. There's actually a demonic pool here. No wonder the demonic chi is so dense. Lu Ming revealed a look of joy. A demonic pool was the birthplace of demonic chi. There would be an endless stream of demonic chi gushing out. Although this was only a small demonic pool, the demonic chi it contained was already very dense. No wonder it could produce demonic origin fruits. No wonder there was a pack of giant wolves guarding this place. With a thought, the Heavenly Emperor's physical body appeared here. Immediately, Lu Ming operated his cultivation method to control the Heavenly Emperor's physical body and began to absorb the demonic chi here. The demonic chi here was extremely dense. The effect was even better than directly absorbing the origin stones. The surrounding demonic chi frantically gathered toward the Heavenly Emperor's physical body, turning into energy for storage. Just like that, time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. The energy of the Heavenly Emperor's physical body had reached about 3%. This speed was already very fast. Back then, Lu Ming had spent more than half a year to store the energy of the Heavenly Emperor's physical body to 12%. On this day, a group of people arrived outside the valley. These people carried demonic sabers on their backs. Their bodies emitted a ferocious aura, and their eyes were like sharp blades. Counting the days, the demonic origin fruits here are about to ripen. It's time to harvest them, a burly man in the lead said. This person's aura was very strong. He was a quasi-emperor. However, there's a pack of demonic wolves residing in this valley. It's not easy to deal with them, another person said. What's so difficult about it? This pack of ink wolves only has 1 quasi-emperor ink wolf, while we have 3 quasi-emperors. It's enough to annihilate this pack of demonic wolves. The burly man in the lead said coldly. That's right. Wait a little longer and we'll kill our way in, another quasi-emperor said. These people began to wait outside the valley. Chapter 2024. Young Master, it's the demonic Saber Mountains people. What should we do now? An old man asked a young master in the clouds. This young master wore embroidered clothes and had a dignified look on his face. That's easy. Let's wait for the demonic Saber Mountains people to fight the huge wolves in the valley first. Then, we can just sit back and reap the benefits. The young master smiled faintly. Young master is wise. The people beside the young master immediately flattered him, making the young master feel good. In the blink of an eye, another half a day passed. Attack! At the valley entrance, the demonic Saber Mountains leader waved his hand. Then, their figures flashed as they charged into the valley. Roar! Roar! The moment they charged into the valley, the huge wolves in the valley discovered them. Immediately, several hundred huge wolves charged at the demonic Saber Mountains people under the lead of the huge wolf king. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 quasi-emperors charged at the huge wolf king from demonic Saber Mountain. The other quasi-emperor charged at the other huge wolves with the rest of the demonic Saber Mountain. The valley immediately descended into a chaotic battle. Although the demonic Saber Mountain had fewer people, they were clearly stronger. The people here were at least great sage. Half of them were absolute sage. Under the lead of a quasi-emperor, a large number of huge wolves were killed. Under the joint attacks of two quasi-emperors, the huge wolf king was at a complete disadvantage. Naturally, Lu Ming heard the commotion outside. However, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He did not go out. Instead, he continued to control the Heavenly Emperor's body to absorb demonic qi. Soon, the sounds of the battle outside gradually died down. Under the joint attacks of the two quasi-emperors, the huge wolf king's head was chopped off by the other party's leader. Most of the other huge wolves were killed as well. The remaining ones scattered like birds and beasts, fleeing this place. Haha. Demonic origin fruit. The demonic Saber Mountain's leader revealed a greedy expression as he looked at the cave Lu Ming was in. You think you can obtain the demonic origin fruit with just you? At this moment, a cold voice came from outside the valley. Following that, a group of people charged into the valley. It was the group of people in the clouds earlier. The demonic Saber Mountain's leader's expression changed. He looked at the young master's group warily and asked, "Master, who are you people? Do you know this one?" A pitch-black token appeared in the young master's hand. When the people of Demonic Blade Mountain saw this token, their expressions changed drastically. "You are from the ancient Devil Nation," the leader of the Demonic Blade Mountain roared. The Eternal Devil Nation was a super devil nation. Everyone knew that there were only two super demonic kingdoms in the entire land of infinite demons. Each of them was shockingly powerful, and the demonic Saber Mountain had no chance against them. So it's the experts from the ancient Devil Nation. Excuse me. Since you've taken a fancy to the demonic origin fruit, we'll let you have it. The demonic Blade Mountain's leader squeezed out an ugly smile, feeling very unwilling. Why would my Eon Luo nation need you to give in to me? What I want is to take it. Attack, kill all of these pieces of trash. The young man's indifferent voice sounded. Kill. The people around the young master immediately charged towards the people of Demonic Blade Mountain. Charge out. The leader of the Demonic Saber Mountain roared and transformed into a demonic saber, wanting to rush out. But in the next moment, two figures blocked in front of him. Boundary Emperors. Both of them were Boundary Emperors. What made him despair was that the other two Boundary Emperors of the Demonic Saber Mountain faced the same situation as him. They were blocked by two Boundary Emperors. The young master had brought a shocking number of experts, and there were at least 6 Boundary Emperors. We've already given up the demonic origin fruit. Why are you still so ruthless? The leader of the Demonic Saber Mountain roared unwillingly. Ha ha ha, what a joke. You're born in the land of infinite demons, yet you still ask such a question. Kill. The young master shouted, and his subordinates charged towards the people of the Demonic Saber Mountain. The people brought by the young master were obviously stronger. Immediately, the people of the Demonic Saber Mountain were killed one after another. There was no suspense in this battle. Not long after, the people of the Demonic Saber Mountain followed in the footsteps of the giant wolf. In fact, they were even more miserable than the giant wolf. None of them managed to escape, and all of them were left here. In the land of infinite demons, such a battle was too common. Especially when treasures were involved, the battle would be even more tragic. Therefore, the demonic cultivators of the land of infinite demons generally had stronger combat strength. In a battle of the same level, their combat strength was probably stronger than the people of the Yuan Mountain land. The young master put away the storage rings of the people of the Demonic Saber Mountain and smiled coldly, not caring at all. Then, he led the group into the cave. Entering the cave, their eyes lit up. 3 demonic origin fruits. They're not ripe yet, but they'll be ripe in half an hour, an old man judged. Why is the demonic qi here rushing into the cave? Suddenly, some people discovered a problem. The demonic qi here was gathering towards the cave. This was obviously not normal. They had sent experts in to investigate and knew that there was a demonic pool in the depths of the cave. The demonic qi should be spreading towards the outside. There's someone inside. A thought appeared in everyone's mind. In particular, the young master's eyes flashed with a trace of killing intent. Let's go take a look. The young master said coldly. Everyone walked into the cave. Soon, they arrived at the demonic pool and saw Lu Ming. Billowing demonic chi was constantly gathering towards the heavenly emperor's body. After more than 10 days of absorption, the demonic chi in the demonic pool had almost dried up. This stone golem is so mysterious. It can actually absorb demonic chi continuously. The demonic chi in the demonic pool is about to dry up. Could it be that the stone golem is absorbing it all? It's a treasure, everyone was discussing. The young master's eyes flickered with greed. Kid, you actually dare to secretly absorb the demonic chi here. You're courting death, the young master said coldly. At this moment, Lu Ming opened his eyes and casually glanced around. He spat out a word, scram. These words caused the young master's face to instantly darken. Kid, you're courting death. Young master, I'll go kill him, a burly man of the sage realm said. Cripple him first and see what secrets he has, the young master ordered. Understood. The burly man of the sage realm nodded. Then, his body moved, and like a goshawk pouncing on its prey, he pounced towards Lu Ming. His claws were like knives, grabbing towards Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. Kill! Lu Ming suddenly shouted. 2 rays of sword light shot out from his eyes and charged into the body of the burly man of the sage realm. The burly man of the sage realm screamed as his body fell to the ground. After twitching twice, he stopped breathing. Dead. The young master and the others' expressions changed. With a shout, a sage realm expert had died. What kind of technique was this? Young master, be careful. This kid isn't simple. Chapter 2025. Not simple. How old does he look? How strong can he be? Is he stronger than a boundary emperor? Let's attack together and destroy his cultivation. I want him to kneel in front of me and beg for mercy like a dog. The young man roared. Kill. As soon as the young man finished his words, his subordinates stepped forward one after another. Their powerful auras pressed toward Lu Ming. You're courting death. Lu Ming shook his head slightly. He originally wanted to continue controlling the heavenly emperor's body to absorb the demonic chi, but now he had to stop. With a wave of his hand, the heavenly emperor's body was put away. Lu Ming stood up, and a powerful aura spread out. You're just a saint. Die. A boundary emperor shouted coldly and rushed toward Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. He attacked quickly, but Lu Ming was even faster. He pointed out with his finger. With this point, a terrifying whistling sound rang out in the space as if the space was about to be pierced through. All of the boundary emperor's attacks and defenses were fragile under this finger. No, when the boundary emperor saw Lu Ming's finger magnifying in front of his eyes, he was terrified. He wanted to dodge, but he found that it was too late. Poof! Lu Ming's finger tapped the man's glabella. A terrifying force was emitted and the man's head was directly penetrated. Under this attack, his soul was turned into ashes. Not only that, the force of the finger continued to shoot back with a wisp of blood, penetrating a few more boundary emperors. Hiss! The remaining boundary emperors gasped, and their expressions changed drastically. Killing a boundary emperor with a single move. This combat strength was too terrifying. Attack together, attack together. The young man roared crazily. Boom! Boom! Everyone exploded. At least 7 boundary emperors and some saints attacked. All kinds of attacks flooded toward Lu Ming. Buzz! At this moment, a halo appeared on Lu Ming's body. It was the light of chaos. This is the light of law. The light of chaos. This person is the son of chaos. The son of chaos. Many people screamed in horror. It was simply inconceivable. The young man they had randomly encountered here was actually a son of chaos, and he had even cultivated the light of chaos. Lu Ming's light of primal chaos revolved around his body. The surrounding attacks had no effect on him at all. They were all blocked by the light of primal chaos. Lu Ming's figure flashed as he charged at the 2 quasi-emperors, jabbing out 2 fingers consecutively. Puff! Puff! These 2 quasi-emperors followed in the footsteps of the previous quasi-emperor. They were pierced by the finger force and died here. Let's go, let's go. Young master, leave quickly. The remaining people roared in fear. How could they dare to continue fighting with Lu Ming? The son of chaos who had cultivated the light of law was too terrifying. They were no match for him at all. Staying behind would only lead to death. At this moment, that young master was already scared out of his wits. A quasi-emperor pulled him along as they ran outside. "All of you, stay," Lu Ming said coldly. As his figure flashed, he jabbed out with another finger and killed another quasi-emperor. Lu Ming moved as fast as lightning. Every time he jabbed out, he could kill a quasi-emperor. Ordinary quasi-emperors could only be instantly killed by Lu Ming. The young master had brought a total of 8 quasi-emperors. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming killed 7, leaving only the last quasi-emperor to flee with the young master. Whoosh! Whoosh! This time, Lu Ming instantly jabbed out dozens of times. The entire sky was filled with finger shadows and finger forces. As the finger forces swept out, the remaining quasi-emperors all fell here. Since these people wanted to kill Xiao Chen, he did not show mercy. Furthermore, these quasi-emperors looked like they had extraordinary backgrounds. Lu Ming had just arrived in the land of 10,000 demons. If he let these people leave, they would definitely seek revenge. This would be extremely detrimental to Lu Ming's future plans. Hence, he could only kill. The quasi-emperors fell one by one. Soon, only the young master and that quasi-emperor remained. At this moment, the young master's complexion was snow-white, without any trace of blood. Although the quasi-emperor had already brought him out of the cave, they were still intercepted by Lu Ming in the valley. "Don't kill me. I'm from the ancient devil nation. Killing me won't do you any good," the young master roared. "It won't do me any good if I don't kill you," Lu Ming said coldly. Then, he jabbed out a finger. A huge chaotic calamity finger was formed, crushing toward the young master and the last quasi-emperor. The young master roared and unleashed his full strength. He was in the Supreme Saint Great Success realm. Moreover, his spiritual body was a superior earth spiritual body. He could be said to be a rare genius. Moreover, he took out an emperor weapon to block with all his might. It was obvious that this person's identity was extraordinary. All the more reason he should not be left alive. The chaotic calamity finger crushed the 2 quasi-emperors. Their resistance was futile. Under the chaotic calamity finger, they turned into ashes. Next, Lu Ming's figure flashed and collected everyone's storage rings. Of course, Lu Ming also collected the young master's emperor weapon. Then, Lu Ming waited there for half an hour. Half an hour later, the demonic origin fruit ripened. Lu Ming plucked the demonic origin fruit and soared into the sky, leaving the place. It was not wise to stay there for long. Who knew if the forces behind the other party would come looking for him? Anyway, the demonic chi in the demonic pool was almost completely absorbed. The energy stored in the Heavenly Emperor's body was close to 4%. It was a great harvest. Then, Lu Ming flew at full speed toward the nearest medium-sized devil nation. A medium-sized devil nation should have a teleportation formation. The land of infinite devils was vast and boundless. It was not smaller than Yuan Mountain. Who knew how long it would take to fly to the ancient devil nation? After flying for a few days, Lu Ming, who was flying, suddenly stopped. That was because there was a purple-black-red light in front of him that was flying toward him rapidly. Lu Ming could see it from afar. It was a beautiful woman. She was wearing a tight purple dress that showed off her voluptuous figure. She was a seductive woman. But at this moment, the woman was a little panicked and was flying rapidly. Whoosh! Whoosh! Behind the woman, streaks of light streaked across the sky and flew towards her. Obviously, the woman was being chased. At this moment, the woman also saw Lu Ming. She continued to fly toward Lu Ming and said, "Help me block those people behind me. I won't treat you unfairly." Although her expression was a little panicked, there was still a trace of cold arrogance in her voice. In Lu Ming's ears, it was as if she was ordering him to do something. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. He retreated and flew in another direction, distancing himself from the beautiful lady. He was not related to the woman, so he did not want to meddle in her business. "Help me quickly. I will reward you handsomely." Whatever you need, just tell me. Chapter 2026. The young lady was being chased by the enemy. Although Lu Ming looked young and might not be that strong, as long as he could hold them off for a while, she would have a better chance of escaping. I'm sorry, but I don't have the strength to help you. Lu Ming shook his head and retreated even faster, pulling away from the beautiful lady. Seeing that Lu Ming wasn't willing to help her, the beautiful lady could only grit her teeth and fly in another direction. Before she left, she glared at Lu Ming, as though blaming Lu Ming for not helping her. Lu Ming rubbed his nose. His goal was to go to the ancient devil nation. He didn't want to be a busybody. In the blink of an eye, the beautiful lady disappeared from his sight. The pursuers behind her also chased after her. To Lu Ming, this was just a small interlude. He continued on his way and flew towards the nearest intermediate devil nation. After a few days, he finally arrived at the outskirts of the intermediate devil nation. This intermediate devil nation did have a teleportation circle. Where do you want to go? A burly man in charge of the teleportation circle asked Lu Ming. I want to go to the capital of the ancient devil nation, Lu Ming said. The capital of the ancient devil nation? Kid, aren't you from the land of infinite devils? Intermediate devil nations like us don't have the qualifications to teleport directly to the capital of the ancient devil nation. If you want to go to the capital, you have to go to a high-grade devil nation and go from there, the burly man said. There was such a rule. Lu Ming was speechless. It seemed like he could only go to a high-grade devil nation and go from there to the capital of the ancient devil nation. All right, I'll go to the high-grade devil nation first, Lu Ming said. The nearest high-grade devil nation is the Ura Kingdom. I suggest you go to the Ura Kingdom first, the burly man said. All right, thank you. Lu Ming clasped his fists and paid the teleportation fee. He then stepped into the teleportation circle. In the next moment, Lu Ming disappeared from the teleportation array and arrived at another place. Lu Ming walked out of the teleportation circle and asked around. He found that he had already arrived in the Ura Kingdom. This was a citadel outside the capital of the Ura Kingdom. The Ura Kingdom is one of the top 10 devil kingdoms in the land of infinite demons. They are extremely powerful. Why don't I go to the capital of the Ura Kingdom and ask about the Eternal Devil Kingdom? Lu Ming pondered. The Ura Kingdom was one of the top 10 devil kingdoms in the land of myriad devils. There was no need to doubt its strength. Lu Ming wanted to see just how strong the top forces of the land of myriad devils were. That way, he would be able to judge the overall strength of the land of myriad devils. Furthermore, even if he were to go to the capital of the ancient devil kingdom right now, he wouldn't know where to start. He couldn't just run to the capital of the ancient devil nation and yell that he wanted to borrow the ancient devil coffin, right? If he did that, he would be lucky if they didn't kill him. Therefore, he needed to plan for the long term. Thinking of this, Lu Ming did not go to the capital of the ancient devil nation. Instead, he flew to the capital of the Ura Kingdom. The capital of the Dark Azura Devil Kingdom was abnormally majestic, vast, and vast. Whether it was the city walls or the buildings inside, most of them were built with a kind of pitch-black stone that was filled with a domineering aura. Lu Ming walked on the streets of the Ura Kingdom and found that there were a lot of experts here. Each of them was emitting a demonic aura and a baleful aura. Lu Ming secretly observed and found that there were many Sage Realm experts and quasi-emperors. They could even see martial monarchs emitting emperors might walking on the streets. Lu Ming found that the quality of experts in the land of myriad devils was higher than in the primordial mountain. Kid, it's you. Suddenly, a cold and arrogant voice sounded. At the same time, a cold aura shrouded Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming frowned. The voice just now was obviously targeted at him. However, he had just arrived in the Ura Kingdom and did not know anyone. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the voice. It's her. Lu Ming was stunned. Not far away, a beautiful woman in a tight purple dress was looking at Lu Ming coldly. Wasn't this woman the one who was being chased a few days ago and asked Lu Ming for help? He did not expect to meet her here. This was too much of a coincidence. Lu Ming was speechless. The young woman's aura was very cold and it shrouded Lu Ming. It's the first princess. Who is that kid? He seems to have made the first princess unhappy. He's finished. Around them, many people stopped to watch and discussed. First princess? Lu Ming was speechless. Could this person be the first princess of the Yura kingdom? First princess, is this the person who left you in the lurch? There were a few people beside the beautiful woman. One of them was a young man. Yes, it's him. The first princess replied coldly. At that time, he was being chased by the enemy and met Lu Ming. He asked Lu Ming for help, but Lu Ming did not help him. Fortunately, he met with reinforcements later and escaped danger. He did not expect to meet Lu Ming in the Yura kingdom. Thinking of Lu Ming's attitude at that time, a cold light flashed in the first princess's eyes. Leaving the first princess in the lurch? I'll go and cripple him. Behind the first princess, a skinny old man said coldly. His figure moved and he rushed towards Lu Ming. A demonic palm print blasted towards Lu Ming, bringing gusts of wind with it. The first princess did not stop him. She just watched indifferently. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He also blasted out a palm and collided with the skinny old man's palm. Boom. With a loud bang, the skinny old man's body shook violently. His body flew back at an even faster speed and fell to the ground, vomiting blood. Lu Ming had shown mercy. He had just arrived and did not want to cause trouble. Otherwise, the skinny old man would have been dead. Many people were shocked. That skinny old man was a supreme saint, but he was injured by Lu Ming in one move. This young man's combat power is not weak. Many people thought. How dare you fight back? You're courting death. The young man beside the first princess shouted coldly. His gaze was as cold as a blade. Whoosh. He took a step forward and rushed towards Lu Ming like a phantom. Lu Ming frowned, and a trace of anger rose in his heart. In the wilderness, he met the first princess. He was not related to the first princess, so why did he save her? It was his freedom to save her or not. But now, the other party wanted to cripple his cultivation and even kill him because of this. How domineering. Boom. The young man attacked. He also blasted out a palm. His palm power was like a landslide, pressing towards Lu Ming. This young man was very strong. He was many times stronger than the skinny old man. Not only had his cultivation reached the peak of the Supreme Saint realm, but he also had a superior spiritual body. Get lost. Lu Ming frowned and shouted. He also blasted out a palm. Dark lightning flashed in his palm. His palm collided with the other party's palm print. The result was almost the same as the skinny old man's. Chapter 2027. Many people were stunned as they looked at the young man who was twitching on the ground. This young man was no ordinary person. He was very famous in the Yura kingdom. He was the son of the Grand Marshal of the Yura kingdom. His name was Ji Peng, and his name was known throughout the Yura kingdom. In the Yura kingdom, Ji Peng was considered one of the top geniuses among the younger generation, except for a few people with king bodies. Someone once made a list of the top 10 geniuses in the Yura kingdom, except for those with king bodies. Ji Peng was ranked 9th among the top 10 geniuses. Of course, Ji Peng was ranked after the king body, but it was still not a trivial matter. But now, Ji Peng was defeated by Lu Ming in one move. Lu Ming's strength was absolutely amazing. Who is this person? He looks very young, but he has such combat power. He's even stronger than Ji Peng. Could it be that he has a king body? It's not a king body. When he attacked just now, there was a flash of demonic lightning. It should be the law of demonic lightning, not the king body. In the Yura kingdom, apart from those with king bodies, this person can be ranked in the top 10, or even the top 8. Some of the onlookers were whispering. That's right. Lu Ming did not use the law of primal chaos, nor did he use the law of array. Instead, he used the law of primal chaos to transform it into the law of demonic lightning. He used the law of demonic lightning to cover his saint power, making him look like a demonic cultivator. The eldest princess looked at Lu Ming with surprise. Lu Ming's strength was stronger than she had imagined. Whoosh! At this moment, Ji Peng turned over and stood up. Cold murderous intent erupted from his body as he roared, "Kid, I didn't use my full strength just now. Come again and I'll kill you." Ji Peng roared, and his aura became even more violent. Just now, he was careless and did not use his full strength. He did not even use his divine art, which was why he was sent flying by Lu Ming. Lu Ming frowned. He had already shown mercy, but the other party did not know when to back down. So, he could not blame him for not being polite. There was a glint in Lu Ming's eyes. "All right, stop." At this moment, the first princess's voice rang out, causing Ji Peng to freeze. "First princess, this person is too audacious. He even dares to hit the princess's people. Let me cripple him." Ji Peng's gaze was cold. He did not want to let Lu Ming off just like that. He didn't use his full strength just now. If we really fought, you might not be his match. Both of you would only suffer. You should leave first. I have something to ask him, the first princess said. "Eldest princess, let us leave." "What if this brat makes a move?" an old man said worriedly. "You think he can hurt me?" the first princess countered. The others didn't say anything. With the first princess's strength, how could this person hurt her? "Then take care of yourself, first princess." Ji Peng's eyes flickered a few times, and then he looked at Lu Ming and said, "Kid, consider yourself lucky today. I'll spare your life." After saying that, he led the others away. "Goodbye." Lu Ming cupped his fists and turned to leave. He instinctively felt that this eldest princess was not a good person, and he was too lazy to have anything to do with her. "Why are you in such a hurry to leave?" The grand princess moved and chased after Lu Ming like a ray of light. She was as light as a feather. Lu Ming frowned and soared into the sky. However, the first princess also soared into the sky and followed Lu Ming. "First princess, what are you trying to do?" Lu Ming stopped and asked with a frown. "Your strength is not bad. I can feel that even if Ji Peng used his full strength to fight with you just now, I'm afraid he wouldn't be your match. Join me and be my guest." The first princess spoke, her expression still carrying a trace of cold arrogance and loftiness. "Not interested." Lu Ming turned and left. "I won't let you be my guest forever. As long as you work for me in these 3 months, you can leave after 3 months. The first princess continued to speak, but Lu Ming had no intention of stopping. A cold light flashed in the first princess's eyes. If not for the fact that she was in urgent need of talents recently, she would have already attacked Lu Ming for treating her with such an attitude. "I won't let you do anything dangerous. I just want you to help me fight against the geniuses of the Yuluo Empire 1 month later. You can name any conditions you want." The first princess continued to follow. "Oh!" At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly stopped and looked at the first princess. "I can name any conditions. As long as it's not too much," the first princess said. "I want to know someone from the ancient Devil Nation's imperial family. Can you introduce me?" Lu Ming said. If the first princess could introduce someone from the ancient Devil Nation's imperial family to him, it would save him a lot of trouble and he could agree to it temporarily. Besides, the first princess only wanted to be his guest for 3 months and fight against the geniuses of the Yuluo Empire. This was not a big deal for Lu Ming, so there was no harm in agreeing. Here I thought it was something big. The Emperor of the Ionic Devil Kingdom just recently passed another tribulation of heaven and earth. In 3 months, he'll be holding a grand banquet. Countless devil kingdoms will be there to celebrate, and the Serene Azura Devil Kingdom will be there as well. Of course, we'll be able to recommend you, the first princess said. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The king of the ancient devil nation had just passed a great tribulation and was going to hold a grand banquet. This was an opportunity for Lu Ming. "All right, I agree to be your guest, but only for 3 months. If you ask me to fight against martial monarchs, I can only refuse," Lu Ming said. "Don't worry. Why would I ask you to fight against martial monarchs?" Seeing Lu Ming agree, the first princess smiled. "Take this guest elder token." A token appeared in the first princess's hand and she threw it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming caught it and put it away. Come with me to the first princess's residence. I will arrange a place for you, the first princess said. Lu Ming nodded. The first princess's residence was very spacious. The first princess arranged a courtyard for Lu Ming. It was very big and quiet. On the way, Lu Ming learned that the first princess's name was Yuning. After arranging a place for Lu Ming, the first princess left. In the next few days, Lu Ming secretly asked around and learned a lot. It turned out that when the Yura kingdom was founded, it was jointly founded by two great Devil Path clans. However, after the founding of the Yura kingdom, it became a problem as to which clan would be in charge of the Yura kingdom. It was stipulated that every 10,000 years, the two clans would send out geniuses of the younger generation to fight. The winner would continue to rule the Yura kingdom for 10,000 years. As for the first princess, Yuning, she belonged to the Yu family. The Yu family had been in control of the Yu Luo Devil Kingdom for 20,000 years. There was only a month left before the samsara that occurred once every 10,000 years arrived. The geniuses of the two great families would compete to determine which family would be in control of the Yu Luo Devil Kingdom. Therefore, the first princess Yuning had been secretly gathering geniuses to increase her strength. Chapter 2028. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days passed. In these 10 days, Lu Ming cultivated in peace in the first princess residence every day. Now, his law of primal chaos had reached 97%, and his law of array had reached 99%. It could be said that he was very close to perfection, but the closer he was to perfection, the harder it was to improve. Many people's laws stopped at 99% for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years. Even the Stellar River had stayed there for a long time. To break through, one needed to accumulate. When one's comprehension of the laws was enough, success would naturally follow naturally. On this day, while Lu Ming was cultivating, Ji Peng led a few people into the first princess residence with a gloomy face and walked towards the courtyard where Lu Ming lived. Ji Peng's identity was not trivial, so naturally, no one stopped him. After arriving at Lu Ming's courtyard, Ji Peng directly kicked the door open and walked in with a gloomy face. Lu Ming, get out here. Ji Peng shouted coldly. In the room, Lu Ming, who was cultivating, opened his eyes, and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. Lu Ming walked out of the room unhurriedly and saw Ji Peng looking at him coldly. More than 10 days ago, Lu Ming sent him flying with a palm in public, causing him to twitch on the ground and lose face. During this period, he had been brooding and looking for an opportunity to take revenge. Later, when he heard that Lu Ming had become the first princess's guest, he was even more furious. After enduring for a few days, he finally couldn't help but look for Lu Ming. Kid, I know your purpose. You want to become the first princess's guest and get close to her. Now I'll give you a chance, get out of the first princess residence. Ji Peng said coldly. The first princess asked you to come? Lu Ming said. There is no need for the first princess to instruct me on this matter. Ji Peng said. I'm the first princess's guest, not yours. Since the first princess didn't ask, then who are you to make me leave? Lu Ming replied indifferently. These words caused Ji Peng's expression to become even gloomier. Brat, you'd better get out yourself. Otherwise, I'll break your limbs and throw you out. Ji Peng said coldly. Scram. Lu Ming coldly spat out a word. He had already lost his patience. Brat, what kind of attitude is that? How dare you speak to the second young master like that? I'll cripple you. Beside Ji Peng, a burly man rushed over and punched towards Lu Ming's dantian. He wanted to cripple Lu Ming's cultivation. The burly man was at the peak of the absolute saint realm. He punched out, and the terrifying fist force made the space around him shriek. Sizzle, Lu Ming circulated the law of primal chaos and converted it into the law of demonic thunder. Lightning swam around his body as though he was wearing a lightning armor. Whoosh. With a flash, Lu Ming punched out, meeting the burly man's fist. Sizzle, lightning spread out and instantly destroyed the burly man's attack. Black lightning covered the burly man's body, and he couldn't help but retreat. Then, Lu Ming stepped forward and slapped the burly man's body. The burly man was sent flying and fell to the ground, twitching non-stop. The eyes of Ji Peng and the others glistened. Lu Ming's combat strength was stronger than they had imagined. A peak absolute saint was defeated in 2 moves. Even Ji Peng himself might not be able to do so. Let's attack together, Ji Peng roared. His body was like a rock spreading its wings as he flew towards Lu Ming. He shook his arms and a mysterious light shone from them. They were like the wings of a rock or 2 heavenly blades. 2 rays of light shot out towards Lu Ming. This was his divine power. When he exchanged blows with Lu Ming the last time, he did not cast his divine power. At the same time, the other 2 moved as well. These 2 were peak absolute saints as well. They used their superpower to attack Lu Ming. Their attacks were ruthless. If Lu Ming couldn't defeat them, he would be killed. Give an inch, and you want a mile. Lu Ming's eyes became colder. A long spear was formed in his hand, covered with a layer of black lightning. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He stabbed out 3 times in a row. With 3 consecutive explosions, Lu Ming blocked the attacks of Ji Peng and the other 2. Then, Lu Ming seemed to have turned into lightning. In a flash, he appeared in front of an elder in the peak absolute saint realm. The lightning spear pierced through the elder's dantian at an astonishing speed, shattering his saint heart. The elder howled in pain and flew out. He fell to the ground and screamed. Lu Ming had already crippled this person's cultivation. Then, Lu Ming moved again and appeared in front of the remaining absolute saint. With another thrust of his spear, he crippled this person's cultivation. Ji Peng was scared out of his wits after 2 people were destroyed in a row. He quickly retreated, wanting to escape. He didn't dare to fight at all. But in a flash, Lu Ming caught up with Ji Peng. Lu Ming had turned the law of chaos into the law of demonic thunder, so its power was greatly reduced. However, Lu Ming's spiritual body and saint power were both far above Ji Peng's. Ji Peng was no match for him at all. He tried his best, but he was still crushed by Lu Ming. Crack! Lu Ming broke one of Ji Peng's arms with a palm strike. Then, he broke one of Ji Peng's legs with a kick. Crack! Crack! After several explosions, Ji Peng's limbs were broken by Lu Ming. He lay on the ground like a dead dog. Get lost! Lu Ming kicked a few times consecutively, sending Ji Peng and his subordinates flying out of the courtyard. After all, this was the Yura Kingdom, the first princess's residence. He couldn't kill Ji Peng. If he really killed Ji Peng, he would have to run. This wasn't Lu Ming's goal. He still needed the first princess to introduce him to the royal family of the ancient devil nation. Brat, just you wait. Ji Peng's vicious voice came from outside the courtyard. He had just said that he would break Lu Ming's limbs and throw him out. In the end, his limbs were broken and he was thrown out like a dead dog. This made him furious. Lu Ming frowned. If Ji Peng went too far, he wouldn't mind killing him and leaving the Yura Kingdom. He would think of other ways. The next morning, a group of people came to the first princess's residence to meet her. Ji Peng was among the group. However, this group wasn't led by Ji Peng. It was his elder brother and one of his uncles. General Ji, Brother Ji, please take a seat. In a large hall, the first princess received Ji Peng and the others. However, her gaze was fixed on the middle-aged man in the lead and a youth with a cold expression. This middle-aged man was Ji Peng's uncle, the younger brother of the Yura Kingdom's first marshal. He was also a general of the Yura Kingdom. As for the youth, he was Ji Peng's elder brother, one of the top geniuses of the Yura Kingdom. He had a terrifying king-type body. First princess, we're here to ask for a person from you, Ji Peng's uncle said. You want a person? Who? The first princess was slightly taken aback and frowned. Chapter 2029. Lu Ming is the bastard who didn't save the princess, Ji Peng said coldly. Lu Ming, what happened to him? The princess was confused. Eldest princess, for no reason yesterday, Lu Ming crippled the cultivation of 2 perfected holy saints of the Ji family and broke Ji Peng's limbs. He has to pay the price for his actions, Ji Peng's elder brother said coldly. Ji Peng's elder brother was called Ji Tian. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. The eldest princess raised her eyebrows. She then instructed the servant, "Get Lu Ming here." Lu Ming was cultivating when he heard noises outside. He got up and came out. "Young Master Lu, the princess wants to see you," a middle-aged guard said. "They're here so quickly." Lu Ming's heart stirred. His first thought was that the Ji family had come looking for him. "All right." Lu Ming nodded and followed the middle-aged guard to the princess's hall. "It's the Ji family." Lu Ming saw Ji Peng as soon as he entered the hall. Ji Peng and the others looked at Lu Ming coldly. "Lu Ming, did you cripple the cultivations of the Ji family yesterday?" The first princess sat at the head of the table and asked with a cold and arrogant expression. "That's right," Lu Ming replied. "How dare you? Even the Ji family is touched. Kill yourself and I'll leave your corpse intact." Ji Peng's uncle slammed the table and said coldly, "What a joke. They wanted to kill me. Can't I fight back?" Lu Ming sneered. "Do you know who you're talking to? Look at your attitude." Ji Peng's uncle's gaze was like lightning. He swept his gaze toward Lu Ming and a strong pressure emanated from him. Lu Ming's expression changed and he took a few steps back. Ji Peng's uncle was definitely a terrifying expert. "It seems like the Ji family doesn't even care about the princess," Lu Ming said coldly. Ji Peng's uncle's expression changed and he retracted his aura. After all, this was the princess's residence and Lu Ming was the princess's subordinate. He would cross the line if he attacked without the princess's permission. "Princess, this person crippled the cultivations of the Ji family and injured Ji Peng. He must be punished. Otherwise, how can the Ji family lead the army?" Ji Tian said coldly. "Lu Ming, what happened?" the princess asked. Lu Ming's combat strength was good and would be useful to her in the future. She didn't want Lu Ming to be crippled. "First princess, yesterday Ji Peng brought several people from the Ji family to my courtyard. They threatened to cripple me and directly attacked me. I was only protecting myself. If I hadn't attacked, I would already be dead." Lu Ming recounted what had happened yesterday. "I see." The princess nodded. "Ji Peng, you went too far this time. Lu Ming is after all my guest." However, Lu Ming was too heavy-handed. "How about this? I'll take out some treasures to compensate the Ji family. Also, Lu Ming, you apologize to the Ji family in front of everyone. How about that?" Apologize to the Ji family. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. What did he do wrong for him to apologize? How was that possible? No, at least cripple his limbs and make him apologize in front of everyone. Ji Peng shouted. "That's right, this person must be punished," Ji Tian said. "In my opinion, both of you should take a step back. Lu Ming will apologize in public and give some compensation. Then, this matter will be settled. How about that?" The princess spoke again. At the same time, she transmitted her voice to Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, Ji Peng's father is the country's Grand Marshal. The Ji family is extremely powerful. You should bear with it, apologize to the Ji family and give them some compensation. Take a step back and you'll be at ease." Lu Ming sneered. "Take a step back and you'll be at ease." This matter was not his fault, yet the princess wanted him to apologize. It was obvious that she didn't want to offend the Ji family. However, the Ji family didn't want to let this matter rest. "Princess, we can give you face today and not deal with him for the time being. However, Princess must drive this person out of the princess residence," Ji Peng's uncle said. Ji Peng, Ji Tian, and the rest sneered. Driven out of the princess residence, without the protection of the Grand Princess, with their Ji family's strength, they could kill Lu Ming no matter how they wanted Lu Ming to die. The princess frowned. She naturally understood the Ji family's intention. However, Lu Ming's battle prowess wasn't bad. Since he could defeat Ji Peng, his battle prowess must be above Ji Peng's. He would be of great help in the battle against the Luo family 20 days later. It would be a pity to give him up just like that. "Grand Princess, our Ji family has always been on your side. If this brat affects our relationship, I'm afraid it won't be worth it for Grand Princess," Ji Peng's uncle said nonchalantly, hinting at something. The princess's expression turned ugly. The Ji family was threatening her. However, she had to compromise. The Ji family's strength was extremely powerful. If they helped the Luo family, it would affect her greatly. The most important thing was Ji Tian. Ji Tian had the king physique. In the entire Yura kingdom, the number of people with the king physique could be counted on one hand. In the battle against the Luo family 20 days later, Ji Tian would play a crucial role in determining the outcome. Thus, she had to hold the Ji family in her hands no matter what. She couldn't ruin their relationship. Thoughts flashed through the princess's mind. Grand Princess, you have to think carefully. My elder brother has the king physique. He can determine the outcome of the battle against the Luo family, Ji Peng said coldly when he saw that the princess didn't say anything. With that, he cast a disdainful glance at Lu Ming. What he meant was, so what if you have some battle prowess? Can you be compared to my elder brother? Can you be compared to the king physique? The princess raised her eyebrows slightly. Ji Peng's words made her unhappy. However, she couldn't lose the support of the Ji family. Thus, she made a decision after pondering for a while. The princess looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, you've gone too far this time. You've broken the rules. So, please leave the princess residence. As expected. Lu Ming sneered. The princess had chosen the Ji family. In her opinion, Lu Ming was just a talent with some battle prowess. However, he couldn't be compared to the Ji family. In particular, Ji Tian, who had the king physique, could play a key role in the battle against the Luo family. The Ji family sneered. As long as Lu Ming left the princess residence, he would be dead. All right. Lu Ming didn't say anything else. He turned and left. Since the princess had chosen the Ji family, why should he stay? After taking a few steps, Lu Ming stopped and turned to look at Ji Tian. He said lightly, King physique. Is it that great? After that, Lu Ming turned and strode away, disappearing from the main hall. He's just a frog at the bottom of a well. I'm afraid he doesn't know how powerful the king physique is. Soon, he will know how powerful the king physique is. Some people from the Ji family mocked. Chapter 2030. Lu Ming didn't stop. However, he didn't leave the first princess's residence immediately. Instead, he circled around the first princess's residence a few times before arriving at a secret location. There, he used his divine aura technique to transform into a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man was one of the guards of the first princess's residence. The Ji family had asked the first princess to chase him out of the first princess's residence. It was very likely that there would be experts stationed outside the residence. As long as he went out, he would be ambushed. Naturally, he wasn't afraid of the younger generation. However, there was no guarantee that the other party wouldn't send out Emperor Realm experts. Lu Ming turned into a guard and swaggered out of the princess's residence. When he walked out of the princess's residence, as expected, he sensed a few spiritual senses sweeping over him. Among them, there were two extremely terrifying spiritual senses. It was obvious that they belonged to Emperor Realm experts. However, they couldn't see through Lu Ming's divine aura technique. Lu Ming turned around and looked at the first princess's residence. He sneered in his heart, First Princess, we will meet again soon. I hope you won't regret it. Lu Ming's lips curled into a faint smile as he walked away. The first princess's residence was located in the western part of the Yura kingdom's capital. Lu Ming walked towards the eastern part of the capital. The eastern part of the capital was the territory of the Luo family. The Yu family and the Luo family were the two families that founded the Yura kingdom. Since the first princess couldn't tolerate him, he could only go to the Luo family. The little princess of the Luo family, Luo Xian, Lu Ming muttered. There was a strange phenomenon in the younger generation of the Yu family and the Luo family. The most outstanding geniuses of the two families were all women. The most outstanding genius of the Yu family was the first princess, Yu Ning. She was also the representative of the Yu family and the leader of the younger generation. As for the leader of the Luo family's younger generation, she was called Luo Xian. She was also a peerless genius and was as famous as Yu Ning. However, she was younger than Yu Ning by a few years. Hence, everyone called her the Little Princess. Lu Ming wanted to rely on Luo Xian. Yu Ning could recommend him to the royal family of the ancient devil nation. Naturally, Luo Xian could do the same. Soon, Lu Ming arrived in front of a magnificent mansion. This was the residence of the little princess, Luo Xian. At this point, Lu Ming had already returned to his original appearance. Stop. In front of the gate, two big men stopped Lu Ming. Gentlemen, I'm here to visit the little princess. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, Of course I know. You're here to visit the little princess. Every day, many people come to visit the little princess. Boy, I advise you not to flatter yourself. Hurry up and leave. A burly man waved his hand, signaling Lu Ming to leave. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. Apparently, the other party thought that he was deliberately trying to get close to the little princess and wanted to pursue the little princess. The two of you, I am here to be the little princess's guest. 20 days from now, in the battle with the Yu family, I will help the little princess obtain victory, Lu Ming said. The two burly men were stunned. They looked at Lu Ming as though they were looking at a fool. They had seen many people looking for all sorts of reasons to get close to the little princess. They had also heard all sorts of strange reasons. However, this was the first time they had seen someone like Lu Ming who boasted so shamelessly. Haha, boy, you really boast shamelessly. Help the little princess obtain victory? This reason of yours is still fresh. However, if you dare to fool the little princess, you might lose your life. Boy, we'll let you off this time. Hurry up and leave. The two burly men waved their hands, signaling Lu Ming to leave quickly. The two of you, you just need to inform the princess. What if what I said is true? What if I can really help the little princess obtain victory? If because of your obstruction, I have to rely on the eldest princess and help her obtain victory. If the little princess finds out about this, what will happen to the two of you? Lu Ming didn't get angry and said indifferently. The two burly men's faces changed. They were sure that Lu Ming was boasting shamelessly. However, they were still afraid of what if. If Lu Ming really had the ability to do so, and because of their obstruction, he decided to side with the eldest princess in a fit of anger and help the eldest princess win, then they would be sinners and the Luo family would not let them off. The two of them looked at each other and nodded silently. It was just a matter of informing the princess. It wouldn't take much effort. If Lu Ming didn't have real ability and was just boasting, someone would naturally take care of him. All right, wait here. I'll go and inform the princess, one of the burly men said and then hurried in to inform the princess. A moment later, the burly man returned and said, The little princess wants to see you. Come with me. Lu Ming smiled and walked into the depths of the mansion with the burly man. Boy, you'd better have some real ability. Otherwise, you'll be miserable. The burly man reminded him on the way. Thank you. Lu Ming smiled. His expression was calm, and there was a faint smile on his face. The burly man was puzzled. Could it be that this boy really had real ability? The mansion was very large. After making a few large turns, they arrived at a large hall. There were only 3 people in the hall. At the head of the hall sat a woman. She wore a black veil and looked to be around 20 years old. This woman was extremely beautiful. She was even more beautiful than the eldest princess, Yu Ning. At this time, this woman was blinking her large eyes, curiously sizing up Lu Ming. To the left and right of the woman were 2 youths. At this time, their eyes were like lightning as they looked at Lu Ming. This subordinate greets the princess. The burly man bowed to the woman. Millimeter, stand to the side. The beautiful woman, the little princess Luo Xian, waved her hand. Her eyes were still on Lu Ming. You said that you can help me defeat Yu Ning and the Yu family? Luo Xian asked, her voice clear and pleasant. That's right. Lu Ming nodded. Hey, let me tell you, you can't lie to me. If you lie to me, I'll make you miserable. Do you know that? Luo Xian had 2 canine teeth. As she spoke, her canine teeth were revealed. She was quite cute. Although she wanted to speak fiercely, she didn't have any killing intent. Little princess, We'll know whether this brat is capable or not after we try. If he's boasting shamelessly, I'll throw him out and feed him to the dogs." A purple-robed youth on the left said coldly. At the same time, he stepped out and forced Lu Ming. Luo Xian didn't stop him. She watched curiously. "Brat, show me what you're capable of. Otherwise, you won't have a chance," the purple-robed youth said coldly. His body turned into a ray of purple light as he charged towards Lu Ming. He waved his hand, and a ray of purple sword light cut through the void and slashed towards Lu Ming. Complete Saint Realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This purple-robed youth's cultivation was at the complete Saint Realm. Moreover, Lu Ming could see that his spiritual body was a high-grade spiritual body. It was even stronger than Ji Peng's spiritual body. The purple-robed youth used 90% of his strength in this attack. It was very powerful. However, Lu Ming still had a faint smile on his face. It was as if he didn't see the purple-robed youth's attack. Indeed, he's a shameless boaster. Another youth on the right sneered. However, at this moment, Lu Ming moved. Chapter 2031. Lu Ming stretched out a finger and tapped lightly on the purple-robed young man's sword light. Bang! The purple-robed young man's sword light instantly shattered. At the same time, dense runes appeared on Lu Ming's finger and covered the purple-robed young man. The purple-robed young man was shocked and quickly retreated, but it was too late. Before he could get far, his body was covered by the runes. He felt that his cultivation was sealed and he fell to the ground with a plop. The three people at the scene were all dumbfounded. The purple-robed young man was defeated in one move. The purple-robed young man was not an ordinary person. He was very famous in the Yura kingdom and was even more famous than Ji Peng. Other than the king body, there were 10 strongest geniuses in the Yura kingdom. Ji Peng was ranked 9th and the purple-robed young man was ranked 5th. Such geniuses were no match for Lu Ming and were defeated by Lu Ming in one move. "Array Dao Law, you have a king body." At this moment, Princess Luo Xian stood up from her seat and looked at Lu Ming with bright eyes. King body. The hearts of the others in the hall were greatly shaken. In the entire Yura kingdom, there were only a few people with a king body. This young man had a king body. No wonder he could defeat the purple-robed young man in one move. Especially the burly guard who was guarding the door. He was secretly afraid. He thought that Lu Ming was boasting shamelessly and was just looking for an excuse to get close to the princess. Now, it seemed that they were wrong. Lu Ming was the real deal. Fortunately, he came in to pass the message. Otherwise, as Lu Ming said, if he went to seek refuge with the eldest princess, they would really be finished. At this moment, Lu Ming waved his hand and the runes covering the purple-robed young man disappeared. The purple-robed young man stood up and looked at Lu Ming seriously. "Are you really going to seek refuge with me and be my guest?" Princess Luo Xian looked at Lu Ming curiously. "Of course. Why else would I be here?" Lu Ming smiled. "Why do you want to join me?" the little princess continued to ask. The little princess is a peerless beauty, a famous beauty. "If I don't rely on you, who will I rely on?" Lu Ming replied with a smile. The little princess giggled. She laughed so hard that her eyes narrowed into slits. "I like your reason. However, Yu Ning is also incomparably beautiful. Why don't you seek refuge with her?" the little princess asked again. She looked innocent, but she was actually very meticulous. "To be honest, I beat up Ji Peng yesterday and was just chased out by the first princess." Lu Ming didn't hide anything and recounted what had happened. Lu Ming was very clear that this matter could not be concealed even if he wanted to. As long as the little princess sent someone to investigate, it would not be difficult to find out. "Oh, I didn't expect such a thing to happen. This time, Yu Ning has made a mistake. I wonder what her expression will be when she finds out that you have a king body during the competition." Interesting. The little princess laughed again and said, "There must be a condition for you to join me, right? I need the little princess to introduce me to the royal family of the ancient devil kingdom. Also, I'll only be the little princess's guest for a few months." Lu Ming said. "All right, that's easy. Soon, we'll be heading to the ancient Devil Kingdom. I know a few princes and princesses of the ancient Devil Kingdom. I can introduce you to them." The little princess agreed without hesitation. She then looked at the others and said, "Regarding Lu Ming's matter, none of you should tell anyone." "Yes." The two young men and the bulky guard nodded their heads in response. "You may leave. I'll arrange a place for Lu Ming personally," the little princess said. The two young men and the burly gatekeeper bowed and left. Only Lu Ming and the little princess were left in the main hall. "You didn't use your full strength just now, did you? You said that you could help me win. I'd like to see how strong you are." As soon as the little princess finished her words, her body floated towards Lu Ming like a black cloud. At the same time, the little princess waved her hand and a black light shrouded Lu Ming. Peak Absolute Saint. As soon as the little princess attacked, Lu Ming could see her cultivation level. Like him, she was at the Peak Absolute Saint. Roar. Lu Ming activated the law of formations and pointed out a finger. A real dragon roared and pounced out. It was formed by the runes of the formation Tao. Boom. The true dragon and the little princess's black light collided with a loud boom. Then, countless runes spread out towards the little princess. "Judgment!" the little princess lightly shouted. Black light burst forth, obliterating the endless runes. Law of Judgment! Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The Law of Judgment was an extremely terrifying law of kings. It was said to be able to judge everything, and its offensive power was shocking. Again, the little princess went up and fought with Lu Ming again. Lu Ming activated the law of formations and fought with the little princess. Lu Ming didn't use his full strength. Lu Ming's spirit body was definitely much stronger than that of the little princess. His saint power was also stronger than that of the little princess. In fact, Lu Ming had only used the integration of the illusory spirit scroll and the sealing scroll for the 3 scrolls of array formation. He had not added the destruction scroll. Even so, the little princess was still at a disadvantage after dozens of attacks. Awesome, awesome. After exchanging dozens of blows, the little princess retreated and said in a sweet voice, "Lu Ming, you're not weak." However, Ji Tian from the Ji family also has a king body and his cultivation has reached perfected absolute saint. "I'm afraid he's stronger than you." "How do you know, little princess?" "I used my full strength just now." Lu Ming smiled. "You didn't use your full strength. So you're looking down on me." The little princess pouted. Lu Ming couldn't help but touch his nose. The little princess's temper was really changeable. Lu Ming couldn't help but think of someone. Xian Yanqing. The little princess's temper was similar to Xian Yanqing's. "Little Qing, where are you now?" Lu Ming couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Back then, Patriarch Ice Dragon had taken Xian Yanqing away. It had been a few years since then, and there had been no news of them. This made Lu Ming very worried. "Ch, Lu Ming, just you wait. I'm going to reach the Peak Absolute Saint realm soon. I'll spar with you then." As she spoke, the little princess showed her 2 canine teeth again and glared at Lu Ming. "Let's go. I'll arrange a place for you to stay." The little princess's expression changed very quickly. A moment ago, she was still threatening Lu Ming, but in the next moment, she walked out of the hall. Lu Ming followed closely behind. After the little princess arranged a courtyard for Lu Ming, she left. There were still 20 days before the competition between the Yu family and the Luo family. She had to reach the Peak Absolute Saint realm in these 20 days. In the following days, Lu Ming was very relaxed and cultivated in peace. As for the Ji family, they sent people to search for Lu Ming in the capital, but they couldn't find any clues. This made Ji Peng furious. Just like that, 20 days passed in the blink of an eye. Chapter 2032. At the center of the Yura Kingdom's capital, there was a huge battle stage. There were many seats around the battle stage, and there was also a large empty space. On this day, there was a sea of people around the battle stage. The Yura Kingdom was founded by 2 great clans. Every 10,000 years, the Yura Kingdom would be decided by which clan would control the Yura Kingdom. Therefore, This was the biggest event in the Ura Kingdom in the past 10,000 years. Countless people were gathered here. In all directions, there was a dense crowd of people. Lu Ming and the Luo clan were sitting on the east side of the battle stage. The spectators were all experts from the Luo clan. Lu Ming looked around and saw that there were many void emperors and true emperors. The father of the little princess, Luo Xian, was sitting at the front. On the west side of the battle stage, there were people from the Yu clan. At this moment, both sides were sizing each other up. That Lu Ming actually sided with Luo Xian. Damn it! Ji Peng shouted angrily when he saw Lu Ming. Ji Tian and Yu Ning also looked at Lu Ming. There was a cold glint in their eyes. The Ji clan is really useless. I already kicked Lu Ming out, but they still couldn't find him. Instead, they let him side with Luo Xian. Yu Ning's eyes flashed coldly as she roared in her heart. Lu Ming's battle strength was very strong. He could easily defeat Ji Peng. This would affect the outcome of this competition. When she kicked Lu Ming out, she already thought that Lu Ming would side with Luo Xian in a fit of anger. However, she also knew that as long as she kicked Lu Ming out, the Ji clan wouldn't let Lu Ming go. Lu Ming would most likely be killed by the Ji clan. He wouldn't have a chance to side with Luo Xian. She didn't expect the Ji clan to be so useless. Lu Ming actually managed to escape and side with Luo Xian. During the competition, if there's a chance, we must kill Lu Ming. Yu Ning transmitted her voice to Ji Tian and Ji Peng. Don't worry. If that brat meets me, I'll make him die miserably. Ji Tian spoke, his killing intent cold. If he touches me, I'll make him wish he was dead. A yellow-robed youth said coldly. The yellow-robed youth's name was Huang Song. In the Ura Kingdom, Huang Song was the strongest person aside from the king body. He was ranked first among the 10 strongest geniuses. He was much stronger than Ji Peng. Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the rest were sizing up Lu Ming's group. Lu Ming, Luo Xian, and the rest were also sizing each other up. According to the old rules, each side will send out 50 Sky Prides to fight one-on-one. In the end, the side that wins will be the winner. Luo Xian transmitted his voice to everyone. Lu Ming nodded. This rule was simple. This time, in the younger generation, both sides have 2 king bodies. Their cultivation levels are about the same, so the battle between the king bodies is very likely to result in both sides suffering losses. Therefore, the battle between the non-king bodies is very important. Luo Xian continued. When he mentioned the king body, he did not include Lu Ming. The news that Lu Ming had a king body had not spread out yet. However, other than the king body, there is one person you must be careful of. That is Huang Song. Although he doesn't have a king body, his combat strength is very strong. He had a fortuitous encounter that made his spiritual body stronger than the average spiritual body. Moreover, his divine ability is very profound. You must be careful when you encounter him, Luo Xian warned. Many people nodded. They were naturally aware of Huang Song's methods. At this time, a figure flew up to the stage. This person was very old. He was one of the Ura Kingdom's doyens and also the judge of this competition. The participants of this competition will go up to the stage first. The doyens spoke, his voice like a bell. Let's go up. Luo Xian stood up first, and the rest followed suit. Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the rest also went up to the stage. Each side had 50 people. As long as they were under the age of 50, they could participate. As soon as they stepped onto the stage, Ji Peng, Ji Tian, and Huang Song glared coldly at Lu Ming. Brat, you better pray that you don't meet me. Otherwise, you'll die miserably. The first to speak was Huang Song. His eyes revealed a cruel smile. On Luo Xian's side, some people's faces changed. Huang Song's methods were extremely cruel. Many of his enemies had died miserably. Lu Ming, you shouldn't have sided with Luo Xian. Yu Ning said coldly. He, I shouldn't have sided with you. Don't tell me I have to do as you say and be killed by the Ji family after being expelled by you. What a joke. Lu Ming said indifferently. Big sister Yu Ning, you don't like Lu Ming, but I treat him like a treasure. I hope you won't be surprised later. Luo Xian laughed. Yu Ning's face was cold, but she didn't say anything. Next, the doyens assigned numbers. On each side, there were numbers 1 to 50. Then, the doyens placed the 50 numbers into a box and randomly drew them. Whichever 2 numbers were drawn would be the 2 people who would fight. Lu Ming's number was 31. After the numbers were assigned, everyone returned to their respective stands. As for the doyens, they each drew a number from the 2 boxes. Luo family's number 6, Yu family's number 39. The doyens announced their names. In the next instant, 2 figures rushed onto the stage and began to fight. There was no suspense in this battle. The Yu family obtained victory. This was because the Yu family member's cultivation was clearly higher. With just a few moves, he heavily injured the Luo family member and sent him flying off the stage. The Yu family obtained victory in the first battle. The Yu family members revealed smiles on their faces. The doyens continued to draw numbers. In the second battle, the Luo family member's cultivation was stronger and obtained victory. The third battle. Luo family's number 31, Yu family's number 5. The doyens announced their numbers. It's my turn so soon. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He stood up and rushed onto the stage. The Yu family member was a tall and sturdy youth. However, when he saw Lu Ming, his face turned gloomy. Just a moment ago, Yu Ning had transmitted a message to him. She had told him that Lu Ming had defeated Ji Peng. She had told him to exchange a few moves with Lu Ming and exhaust some of Lu Ming's saint energy before admitting defeat. Since Lu Ming had defeated Ji Peng, the tall and sturdy youth knew that he wasn't a match for Lu Ming. "Brat, eat my axe." The tall and sturdy youth roared. He raised his battle axe and charged towards Lu Ming. His goal was to exhaust some of Lu Ming's saint energy. Zzz, a sizzling sound came from Lu Ming's hand. Black demonic lightning flashed. Following that, Lu Ming blasted out a palm. The demonic lightning formed a huge palm and blasted towards the tall and sturdy youth. Boom! The tall and sturdy youth's body was directly sent flying. He flew out of the stage and vomited a large mouthful of blood. This brat has some strength. It's more fun to kill him like this. Huang Song licked his lips. The ferocious expression on his face became even more intense. As for Luo Xian and the purple-robed youth, who had seen Lu Ming in action before, they were dumbfounded. What's going on? The demonic lightning law. Didn't Lu Ming use the law of array Dao back then? How did it become the demonic lightning law? Could it be that he has mastered 2 types of law? Luo Xian and the others revealed looks of disbelief. Chapter 2033. After defeating his opponent, Lu Ming returned to the stands. Luo Xian glanced at Lu Ming from time to time. He felt that Lu Ming wasn't as simple as he seemed. The competition continued. Luo Xian and the purple-robed youth fought one after another and won easily. In addition, the Luo family had a king body. He defeated his opponent in 1 move. On the Yu family's side, Yu Ning and Ji Tian also won easily. Ji Peng also won. As for Huang Song, he was even more merciless, showing no mercy at all. In an instant, he tore apart a genius from the Luo clan. He stood on the battle platform, bathed in blood, resembling a ferocious beast of slaughter. On the Luo family's side, other than Lu Ming and a few others, everyone's expression changed. Soon, the first round was over. Both sides had 50 people each. However, after the first round, there was a gap in the number of people on both sides. The Yu family had ruled the Yura kingdom for 20,000 years. They had a deep foundation. Naturally, there were more geniuses who joined them. Therefore, after the first round, the Yu family had gained the upper hand. After the first round, the Yu family had 28 people left. As for the Luo family, they had only 18. Why didn't the total number of people on both sides add up to 50? It was because in the process of the battle, both sides had suffered injuries. Therefore, the total number of people on both sides was naturally less than 50. The second round was the same as the first round. The remaining people on both sides were placed in the box and drawn. The 2 people who were drawn would fight each other. This way, The side with more people would definitely have an advantage. This was because the side with more people didn't need to fight. They could conserve their strength and saint power. In the second round, Lu Ming also fought very early. However, his opponent wasn't strong and was easily defeated. After that, Luo Xian and another genius with a king body also won. Yu family's number 3 against the Luo family's number 5. At this time, Elder Yuan's voice sounded again. It's the two of them. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The Yu family's number 3 was Huang Song. The Luo family's number 5 was the purple-robed youth who had tried to test Lu Ming. His name was Wu Shi. Shua. Huang Song's figure appeared on the stage. He looked at Wu Shi with a sinister expression and shouted, "Haha, Wu Shi, I didn't expect it to be you. Hurry up and accept your death." Wu Shi stood up with a solemn face. Among the top 10 young cultivators outside of the king body, Huang Song was ranked first, and Wu Shi was ranked 5th. In their previous battles, he was definitely not Huang Song's opponent. If you can't win, just admit defeat. Your life is more important. Luo Xian sent a message to Wu Shi. Wu Shi nodded and rushed into the Colosseum. The two of them immediately clashed. Huang Song's battle prowess was indeed stronger than Wu Shi's. Huang Song's spirit body seemed to be stronger than the average superior heaven spirit body. His attacks were like a violent storm, and he was like a ferocious savage beast, crazily attacking Wu Shi. For a moment, Wu Shi could only defend passively. But after a few moves, Huang Song clawed at him and tore off a piece of flesh from his body. Die, die, ha. Upon encountering fresh blood, Huang Song seemed to become even more excited. Traces of blood-red light appeared in his eyes, and his attacks became even more violent. Wu Shi roared. After using his strongest move, he rushed down the fighting ring. He knew that he was no match for Huang Song. If he continued to fight, his life would be in danger. He could only rush down the fighting ring and admit defeat. However, Huang Song obviously did not want to let him off so easily. "You want to leave? Die!" Huang Song roared. Shua. Claw shadows covered the sky and enveloped Wu Shi. Poochie. Blood splattered everywhere, and flesh flew everywhere. One of Wu Shi's arms was torn off by Huang Song. Wu Shi endured the pain and rushed down the fighting ring. "Mph, what a piece of trash. You don't even have the courage to fight to the death. I think you should admit defeat as soon as possible." Huang Song sneered and looked mockingly at the Luo family's geniuses. Many of them had ugly expressions, but at the same time, they revealed a look of fear. Even Wu Shi had been defeated so miserably. On their side, other than the two king bodies, there was no one who could fight with Huang Song. If they encountered Huang Song, it would be difficult for them to even survive. The morale of the remaining geniuses was somewhat low. Huang Song's gaze swept coldly at Lu Ming. He sneered and returned to the stands. The competition continued. Not long after, the second round of the competition also ended. The difference in numbers between the two sides was even greater. The Yu family still had 19 people, while the Luo family only had 9. In the second round, the Yu family had 10 people who did not need to fight. It looks like the Yu family still has the absolute advantage in this competition. The Yu family has ruled the Yura kingdom for 20,000 years. They are getting stronger and stronger. Naturally, more geniuses will join them. That's right. Although both sides have two king bodies, the Luo family is too far behind. Many people were discussing this. Some of the Yu family's experts had smiles on their faces. As for the Luo family's experts, their faces were gloomy. With this defeat, their Luo family would have to wait another 10,000 years. Soon, the third round began. The remaining 9 geniuses of the Luo family were all quite strong. Thus, their chances of winning in the third round increased. It was unknown whether Lu Ming's luck was good or bad, but the opponent he faced in this round wasn't strong. He was easily defeated by Lu Ming. In this round, 6 of the Luo family's 9 geniuses won, and 3 were eliminated. As for the Yu family, 6 of them were eliminated. Only 13 remained. 13 people against 6. Following this, The fourth round began. The Yu family's number 1 versus the Luo family's number 1. The Yura Kingdom's doyen pulled out 2 numbers. He was stunned for a moment before he announced the numbers. As soon as the announcement was made, the crowd went into an uproar. Many people became excited. This was because the numbers on both sides were Yu Ning and Luo Xian. They were the eldest and youngest princesses of the Yura Kingdom. They were the 2 most outstanding women of the Yura Kingdom's younger generation. Not only were their talents outstanding, but their cultivation talent was even more shocking. They both had king bodies. Now, these 2 beautiful princesses were going to face each other. Who would emerge victorious? Many people were looking forward to it. The 2 of them stood up and jumped onto the stage. Their gazes met, and it was as if divine swords were clashing. Sister Luo Xian, I will make you accept your defeat wholeheartedly. Yu Ning smiled. Her face was still cold and arrogant. That's exactly what I wanted to say. I will defeat you. I will defeat all of you. Luo Xian opened her mouth, revealing 2 canine teeth. Following this, the 2 of them moved and started fighting. As soon as the 2 of them attacked, they used their divine abilities. The laws of king bodies clashed in the air, causing rumbling sounds to ring out continuously. In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had exchanged dozens of blows. There was no clear winner. Sister Luo Xian, so that's all you've got? It seems like you're going to lose. Yu Ning smiled. Then, the aura on her body skyrocketed. Princess Yu Ning has reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Previously, she was the same as Princess Luo Xian. She had always been at the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. I didn't expect her to break through now. I wonder if Princess Luo Xian has broken through. Otherwise, she's going to lose. Many people exclaimed. This was especially so for the Luo family. Their expressions were grave. Chapter 2034. Sister Luo Xian, how are you going to fight me now? Yu Ning sneered. She stepped forward, and a powerful aura pressed down on Luo Xian. A month ago, she was still a peak Paragon Saint, but recently, her cultivation had reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. She stood at the peak of the Yura Kingdom. Ji Tian, who used to be the number 1 genius of the Yura Kingdom, was only at the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Do you think you're going to win? Luo Xian's voice rang out. Boom. Then, a powerful aura burst out of Luo Xian's body. Luo Xian's cultivation was also at the peak of the Paragon Saint realm, but now, he had reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Yu Ning's expression changed. She exclaimed, "You've also broken through." Of course. Do you think you're the only one who has broken through? Luo Xian smiled. So what if I've broken through? I'll still defeat you. Yu Ning said coldly as she charged toward Luo Xian. The 2 princesses clashed again. Both of them had king bodies, and their cultivation had reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Their battle was shocking. Ordinary boundary emperors were no match for them. Only 2 afterimages could be seen on the stage. Those with weaker cultivations couldn't even see them clearly. It seems like neither of them has the upper hand. Lu Ming was paying attention to the battle on the stage. He noticed that Yu Ning and Luo Xian's cultivation and battle power were on par. They seemed to know each other very well, and they were in a stalemate. Boom. Boom. Soon, the 2 of them had exchanged hundreds of blows. At this point, their bodies were emitting white smoke. They circulated their saint power to the extreme, and they exchanged a few more blows, but they were still evenly matched. Their breathing became heavier, and their speed became slower. This was a sign of extreme exhaustion. However, both of them were very stubborn. Neither of them wanted to lose to the other, so they gritted their teeth and continued to fight. Towards the end, their attacks became slower and slower. It was as if they were moving in slow motion. Brother Luo, it'll be disadvantageous for them if they continue fighting. Why don't we end this battle in a draw? The head of the Yu family, who was also the current ruler of the Yura Kingdom, looked at the head of the Luo family. All right, let's end this battle in a draw. The head of the Luo family nodded. If they continued to fight, both sides would suffer. If they overdrafted themselves too much, it wouldn't be good for either of them. The Luo family head and the Yu family head nodded. The figures of the Yura kingdom's elders moved and appeared in front of Yu Ning and Luo Xian, blocking them. This round is considered a draw. All of you can go back and rest, Senior Yuan said. Yu Ning and Luo Xian glared at each other and snorted coldly. Then, they returned to the stands and swallowed the medicinal pills. While refining the medicinal pills, they continued to watch the competition. In the next battle, it was the turn of the Luo family's other king body. He easily defeated his opponent. Yu family's number 3 against Luo family's number 31. After the Luo family's king physique was sent out, the elder reported his number. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was his turn. Also, wasn't Yu family's number 3 Huang Song? Lu Ming stood up with a cold smile on his face. The eyes of Luo Xian, Wu Shi, and the others glittered. Others might not know, but they knew that Lu Ming was a king physique. Back then, he had easily defeated Wu Shi. His combat strength was definitely above Huang Song's. I will avenge you. Lu Ming patted Wu Shi's shoulder and stepped onto the stage. Ha ha ha, I finally met this kid. Huang Song was overjoyed. His face was ferocious and excited. Since Princess Yu Ning wanted to kill Lu Ming, he naturally had to deal with Lu Ming for her. Huang Song, don't kill him so easily. It's best if he begs for mercy on the stage before killing him. Ji Peng glared at Lu Ming and said to Huang Song. Haha, that's exactly what I wanted. Huang Song laughed and rushed onto the stage. He stared at Lu Ming and said, Kid, kneel down and beg for mercy. I might give you a quick death. He thought that he would see a look of horror on Lu Ming's face, but he was disappointed. Lu Ming had a spurious smile. He looked at Huang Song and said, Pathetic. Huang Song's face darkened. Kid, what did you say? I said that you don't even know that your life is coming to an end. How pathetic. Lu Ming added. Ha ha ha, kid, you're saying that you can kill me? I'd like to see where you get your confidence from. Huang Song hollered. As soon as he finished his words, his figure dashed toward Lu Ming. His claws were like knives, grabbing toward Lu Ming. Huang Song was also wearing a kind of glove. This glove was like mercury. It wrapped around his hand and could change its shape at will. His fingertips were extremely sharp. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Black thunderbolts flashed on Lu Ming's palm as he blasted his palm toward Huang Song. His only a peak absolute saint. How dare he fight Huang Song head-on? His courting death. Huang Song's spiritual body is very powerful. Even a peak absolute saint wouldn't dare to fight Huang Song head-on. This kid is just courting death. It looks like Huang Song wants to kill him. He's done for. Lu Ming's attack caused a commotion. However, in the next moment, all the sounds disappeared. This was because Lu Ming and Huang Song had collided. Boom. A figure wailed and flew far away. He fell to the ground. It wasn't Lu Ming who everyone thought it was, but Huang Song. Huang Song was sent flying 100 meters and fell to the ground. His body was twitching, and lightning was all over him. On the other hand, Lu Ming didn't move at all. How? How is this possible? Lu Ming was only a peak absolute saint. How could he send Huang Song flying with one move? Lu Ming didn't have a king body. How is this possible? In the stands, Ji Peng roared in disbelief. Lu Ming was strong enough to defeat him, but they didn't think that Lu Ming could defeat Huang Song. Huang Song was almost unbeatable at the same level, except for those with a king body. Plus, Huang Song's cultivation was higher. Yu Ning's face also darkened. Even Luo Xian, Wu Shi, and the others were shocked. They'd guessed that Lu Ming could defeat Huang Song, but only if Lu Ming used the Law of Kings. But now, Lu Ming had defeated Huang Song without using the Law of Kings at all. This was beyond their expectations. Of course, they did not know that Lu Ming's spirit body was far superior to ordinary high-grade spirit bodies. Besides, he had cultivated 2 sacred hearts. His sacred power was far superior to that of a perfected absolute saint. Even if he did not use the Law of the King, he could easily defeat Huang Song. Lu Ming stepped forward and approached Huang Song. He looked down at him and said, Didn't you want to kill me? Come. Huang Song looked at Lu Ming. He didn't look ferocious anymore. Instead, he looked terrified. With a roar, he charged down the battle platform. He wanted to admit defeat, but Lu Ming wouldn't let him do that. Crack. Chapter 2035. Huang Song roared as he used all his strength to block Lu Ming's lightning spear. However, the spear vibrated as if it was indestructible. Kai La. The lightning spear pierced through Huang Song's attack, piercing through his shoulder and dragging Huang Song along as he slid a distance away. Huang Song roared in fear and rushed in another direction, wanting to rush down the stage. He no longer had the heart to continue fighting. At this moment, there was only fear in his heart. Lu Ming's battle strength was too strong, exceeding his expectations. His battle intent had already collapsed. As a result, he was even less of a match for Lu Ming. Swish. Swish. Lu Ming's figure flashed as the black spear stabbed out continuously. Finally, it pierced through Huang Song's left leg and nailed him to the ground. Trash. You don't even have the courage to fight. Where's your arrogance from before? Lu Ming stepped forward and stepped on Huang Song's face, looking down on him. Previously, Huang Song was incomparably arrogant. When he defeated Wu Shi, he said that Wu Shi was trash who didn't even have the courage to fight. But now, he was facing Lu Ming. Wasn't he the same? Now, Lu Ming had returned those words to him. It was incomparably ironic. Eldest princess, save me, Huang Song roared, begging Princess Yuning for help. Lu Ming, stop when you're ahead. Don't go too far. At this moment, Princess Yuning spoke. Nonsense. Lu Ming looked at Princess Yuning and reprimanded her. Are you blind or deaf? Why didn't you tell Huang Song not to go overboard when he killed our people? Also, it was Huang Song who said that he wanted to kill me. Why didn't you stop him? Lu Ming's sarcastic voice resounded throughout the entire place. This made Princess Yuning's expression extremely ugly. Impudent. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to the princess like this? I'll cripple you. An expert from the Yu family shouted, erupting with a powerful aura. What are you doing? The Luo family head said coldly, sweeping his gaze over the Yu family expert. The latter's expression changed greatly. Brother Yu, don't break the rules. The Luo family head said coldly. Sit down. The Yu family head glanced at the Yu family expert. The Yu family expert could only withdraw his aura and obediently withdraw. The conflict between the two clans happened once every 10,000 years. It had been countless years, so there were naturally rules. No one else was allowed to interfere. Otherwise, the Senate of the Yura Kingdom would declare the party that broke the rules to be the loser. This kid is interesting, the head of the Luo family said with a smile. That was a good scolding. Luo Xian laughed loudly, as if he had vented his anger. This made Princess Yuning's expression turn even uglier. Now, I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming looked at Huang Song. No, Huang Song struggled with all his might, his eyes filled with terror. However, Lu Ming's long spear descended and directly pierced through his glabella, killing Huang Song. Many people at the scene heaved a sigh of relief. Huang Song was dead. He was killed by an unknown young man. This was the strongest genius in the Yura Kingdom outside of the king physique. However, he was killed in a few moves by Lu Ming. This made everyone fearful of Lu Ming's combat strength. How is this kid so strong? How is he so strong? Ji Peng was incomparably terrified. Don't worry. If this kid meets me, I'll avenge Huang Song, Ji Tian said coldly, staring coldly at Lu Ming. Lu Ming seemed to have sensed something. He looked back at Ji Tian, smiled faintly, and returned to the spectator stand. There's hope. At this moment, some of the Luo family's experts' eyes lit up as they saw hope. Although they were few in number, they saw hope now. This was because each side had a king physique. If, before Lu Ming met Ji Tian, the two people with the king physique would encounter each other first. If, like Yu Ning and Luo Xian, both of them suffered injuries, then they would have a chance of winning. If the king physique on both sides were injured, Then who on the Yu family's side could be Lu Ming's opponent? Lu Ming alone could wipe out the other side. Obviously, the Yu family's people also thought of this point, and their faces were gloomy. Because of Lu Ming, the situation where they were sure to win had turned into an unpredictable trend. Don't worry, they won't have a chance, Ji Tian said confidently. Could it be that you have already? Yu Ning seemed to have thought of something, and her face lit up. That's right. Ji Tian nodded. Yu Ning was ecstatic, and she let out a long breath. This way, they would definitely win. If you meet that Lu Ming, kill him for me, Yu Ning transmitted her voice to Ji Tian. If it was like what Ji Tian said, then Lu Ming would meet Ji Tian sooner or later. Everyone had different thoughts in their hearts, but the competition still continued. When this round ended, on the Luo family's side, there were only 3 people left. On the Yu family's side, there were only 9 people left. A new round had begun. This round didn't attract too much attention. Lu Ming easily defeated his opponent, and so did the Luo family's king physique. But on the Luo family's side, another person was defeated by the opponent. In this way, the Luo family only had 2 people left. On the Yu family's side, there were only 7 people left. Yu family's number 2, Luo family's number 2. When Elder Yuan announced the numbers, everyone became excited. Finally, it was time for the main event. The Yu family's number 2 was Ji Tian, and the Luo family's number 2 was Long Yang. The 2 king physiques were going to fight again. In the past, Ji Tian was known as the number 1 person among the younger generation in the Yura kingdom. His cultivation had long reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. But Long Yang might not be weaker than him, and his cultivation had long reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. The last time they fought was a few years ago. At that time, the 2 of them exchanged hundreds of moves, and in the end, Long Yang lost to Ji Tian by a single move. But a few years had passed, and anything could happen. The current Ji Tian might not be able to defeat Long Yang. They're finally going to fight. The eyes of the Luo family's experts lit up, and their faces were filled with joy. Finally, before Lu Ming met Ji Tian, the 2 king physiques would fight. This was what they wanted to see, and it was also their only hope of winning. As long as Ji Tian and Long Yang were injured, Lu Ming would be able to defeat the remaining people of the Yu family. Then, the Luo family would be able to win this time. Long Yang, we don't want to win this battle, but we can't let Ji Tian win, the Luo family's head transmitted to Long Yang. Long Yang nodded and stepped onto the battle stage. Ji Tian also stepped onto the battle stage. Long Yang, you weren't my match a few years ago. Today, you won't be my match either, Ji Tian said confidently. He had a strong belief that he was invincible. Not necessarily, Long Yang said indifferently. Then, he took a step forward, and terrifying flames spread out from his body. This flame was an extremely terrifying flame law called the Destruction Heavenly Flame Law. It was also a kind of king law. 6 hells, Ji Tian whispered. 6 worlds seemed to appear around his body. One was a sea of blood, one was boundless demonic chi, and one was filled with killing intent. So it's the 6 hells law. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.